Let's take a little walk. Just a little walk. That was my landlord just leaving. Waved at me. Doesn't know me. Nobody knows me. I can't speak French. They can't speak English. I'm just gonna sit down here for a minute before I faint. Because today I'm going to give you my real true confession. And it's going to be extremely difficult for you to believe. I hope you watch it all the way through, because sometimes my consciousness rises as I speak. You see, I have learned through my channel. Thank you very much, by the way, for being my therapist. But I have learned through my channel that talking it out and spitting it out gets the poison out. You don't need any therapy. You don't need anybody to tell you anything about yourself or what's wrong with you. When you talk it out, when you're allowed to talk it out. I wrote a book in 2011. It was called Evil Eyes, a daughter's memoir. I don't get any money for it. The men do. The corporation men. I have been raped and robbed, murdered, and left for dead. And I am incognito for a reason. I can't show you my face. If I do, I will be a target every time I show my face. I am a target. And I'm going to tell you how it works, the whole system. The whole system. Now, whether or not this goes anywhere, because according to YouTube, I get 10 views and 5 likes. Those odds don't seem real to me. But anyway, I am told by a spirit guide that my videos are going to the right places. They're making sure of it. I am not alone as I appear. If you're a typical person, you will want to call me a liar. No, you really will. You really won't be able to cope with this, what I have to tell you. because it does involve you emotionally. But I'd rather you find out now. You see, that's what a loving person does. They bring up the truth so that when you cross over, oh, there's one of my angels, always walks by right at the right time. So that guy, just to let me know I'm okay and safe. This guy walks by. Yeah, I'm crazy too. Crazy bitch. Right? Right, guys? What a fucking crazy bitch. But he does. And I'm going to tell you my whole thing, but there will be interruptions because my brain is fried. I don't have a left brain anymore. That's the part of me that learned how to be so silent and ashamed of my story, because I was ashamed. Very, very fucking, very ashamed, my friends, of myself. Yes, well, that's how it works. The shame, the fear, is a silencer weapon. Here goes. I have said it I have known it for over a month. I was unconscious. And since 2016, in 2016, September, I was shown my unconscious world. And there was one part of it which I told my therapist, you guys, is, oh, there's my bird. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it through the camera. That's weird. I'll get distracted. You'll get fed up and hang up. Or you'll get frustrated with me and hang up. And this does involve you, so if you want to know what happens when you die, I'll tell you right now. The truth comes, and it's too late. Okay? So it's going to be hard to hear, and you might get afraid. But we have to bring this up. I have to bring this up. I have to talk this out. I have to talk this out in a meaningful way. I have said it in passing. I've told you my experience when I went to the YWCA a couple of months ago for help. But nobody wants to hear me, and you won't either. So I'll just say it anyway for myself, if you don't mind, because I really, really need to talk this out. It's like the diseases that have been inside of me. I've healed myself. I am still healing from my broken back. but my heart and my lungs are fine. My organs, my skin is fine. It's perfect. And you can tell how your organs are by the condition of your skin, which is an organ, by the way. And pain and suffering will settle in on the organ most vulnerable. Anyway, talk it out. Gotta talk it out, but it's hard to get started. You know, the media drives our minds, and
Hello.
Celine.
How are you?
That was my landlord's wife. My landlord left, so I thought I'd take a little walk. Just a little walk with you, my therapist. I don't know why, but this house is divine. I've been divinely protected. I want you to know that before I start, so that in case anyone out there actually believes my story or wants to, take a little walk. It's the back of my house, my apartment. The landlord's constantly working on it. Built that garage right behind my unit. Built on top of it. This is my sunroom, but it's got all his stuff in there. I don't bother him about it because I don't want to make any waves at all. I don't. I'm incognito. But people know me. I've been here 7 years, and they know my movements. They know I don't have men coming over. I'm not a drunk. I'm not a troublemaker. I'm certainly not a liar, because we don't talk to each other. I pay my rent. I go by the book. I know the rules. I do know the rules of engagement if you want to survive. And I do. I really do. I'd love to. I'd love to. I'm 65, and if there's a chance for me to have a real life, I would. But there is no chance. And there's no chance for many women my age or younger. You see, in the 70s, the media were grooming men. In the 60s, after, Woodstock, and that was all orchestrated, guys. You can't have a Woodstock without permission. And if you don't know what Woodstock is, Google it. After the 60s and the Woodstock, the hippie thing, the weed thing, orchestrated by the government, people wanted to be free. And they fought against the Vietnam War. A lot of people in America escaped to Canada to avoid the draft to Vietnam. And so I don't know who this guy is, but just be quiet as he walks by. I don't like to bring attention. Where was I? I have bad short-term memory. Immediate short-term, like I don't remember what I was saying. But I do remember this morning. I just don't remember what I was saying a minute ago. Okay, so I'll just pick up with my real story. Where was I now? I'll get it out. I have a traumatic brain. That's why I can't learn French, I think. It just won't retain French at all. Or it's part of, the plan, because I'm in a plan too. A plan to pop the lid off of the lies going on in the world. And so I have to start with me confessing my story, which isn't easy when you need to be incognito and you need to talk it out, and you only have a camera and artificial intelligence to carry it. And I am told by my guides not to worry about where this goes, because one, it's my therapy, and I've told you that. I'm just talking things out here in my own true story. Whether anybody believes me or not, it doesn't fucking matter. And two, I am wholly protected. I am in the divine light now. And nothing can touch me. But I'm not stupid. I'm not an ass. I don't have artificial stupidity syndrome anymore, because there's nothing intelligent going on with AI. There's nothing intelligent going on with artificial so-called intelligence. They use it to make your mind go into chaos. Now, if you're in fear and shame, then it, you know, I do this for me, okay? So, true confessions are oh, I know where I was. See, I get it back. If I keep talking, the Woodstock in Vietnam, it made people insane. And the media started having programming, situational comedy. It's always comedy. You know, they introduce the laughing stock, you know, the Lucille Ball, um, these characters had um, television situation comedy sitcoms in the 60s and 70s that encouraged single parenthood. It glorified it. It made it look fun. It made it look easy. It made single moms a laughing stock. And, well, it really wiped them out. There was many shows about fathers. Eddie's Father, My Three Sons, Lost in Space. These are programs that, you know, it encouraged men to walk, that they didn't have to. And it encouraged women, too, to walk, get divorced. They don't have to put up with abuse. If they're being physically abused, you gotta leave. But you're welcome to go to work now, since World War II. In fact, we encourage it. Go to work. You have a career. You deserve it. You deserve to work. Mom, you're equal now. But as you go along, make sure that you stay lean. You stay fit, like, you know, your men, and lean like your man, because they don't want you. No fat, no muffin top. I was told at 23 years of age, when I was 110 pounds, I was too fat in the muffin, in the tummy. You know, I had my boy, and it's hard to get it off, and I didn't have time to fucking go running, or I didn't like exercise. I'm not sports oriented. I'm emotionally oriented and sensitive. And I know, because of my bones and my structure, I have fine bones. If I'm running or constantly yoga, crap like that, I'm hurting my body in the long run. In my old age, God, my ankles, you know, because I did run a little bit. It will. Oh, I know what I was good at. I was good at chin-ups. My arms are. I won an award of bronze in the Olympics at our school in grade 8. I won the bronze award in chin-ups over the boys. Well, that's because my body's so small. And I made my arms strong by doing gymnastics, the uneven parallel bars. I loved swinging through the uneven parallel bars in gym. The teachers, for the first time, actually were impressed. But that's about as far as my physical goes. So what happened was all this programming came out, and I was shocked when I got pregnant when I was on my 18th birthday, actually. I got pregnant in 1977, September, and September 11th, my birthday. And I really loved this guy. He wasn't part of the program, and I found him by myself, by mistake, when I was with another handler. I was living with a homosexual in Vancouver after I'd run away, and yeah, I was found. I didn't know. So he brought me over to Arthur Nolan Fisher's house once for Thanksgiving dinner. And Arthur had a partner and a little girl. But when I saw him and he saw me, we knew we were destiny. And you cannot mess with destiny. And we couldn't help ourselves. With that one, I could not help myself. I was deeply in love the moment I saw him. And he was deeply in love with me. But of course, you know, the handlers in my life ended it. And, you know, the walking across, we lived on Mitchell Island, which is all industry. Like, it's all industrial, no houses, no residential. It's Mitchell Island down Ninth Street Bridge or Fraser Bridge. Anyway, I walked from, there was one street in the 1970s, and we lived on that one street with really old houses. And I we were forced to break up, and I ran away and walked across the bridge and wanted to jump, but I was just crying, and I kept walking because I could not stand the idea of not having my guy. And so I ended up at a doctor's office crying my head off, and they took me, or brought in social workers, I think, because I was young and crying and handled. So the social worker took me to a house in Vancouver where I could sleep, I guess. And Arthur came over and picked me up, and he took me out of the house. And he brought me over to a friend of his who lived on East 13th Avenue behind the Biltmore Hotel in Vancouver. And East 13th, it was a big house with many apartments. And Debbie lived in one, and she had a baby who was 4 months old, and I was pregnant because the house that the social workers took me to the Pine Free Clinic and in Vancouver to have a rabbit test done. They called it rabbit test. Like rabbit, like the little bunny. They called it that. And I went there, the Pine Free Clinic, and I was pregnant. And I'd already had an abortion, 2 years earlier. I was too young for babies, my friends, but there I was. It's all my fault. I was a slut, they said. So, I was at this house, and he left me there, and he said he would be back, but he didn't come back, and it was about, 4 months later when I decided that I had to go. I wasn't going to be able to have the baby on my own, and I wouldn't bring a baby. No, I'm not bringing a baby into this world. And so I decided to go, to die that night. And there was a bottle of pills on the top of the fridge of Debbie's house, and I didn't know what they were, but they were pills, and I saw on TV that you could take pills and die. I saw it on TV. So I don't know what the problem is on YouTube about talking about it. I saw it on TV. And so that bottle of pills was going to have how I die. And I sat down and I just swallowed them like one at a time, slow, and just sat and waited. Tick-tock. Nothing going on. Not dying. Not even falling asleep. What the hell did I take? It might kill my baby, but not me? Oh my God. Oh my God, no. 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 Not gonna do that. I had to phone someone. Get it out of me. Can't hurt my baby if I'm not dying. Debbie didn't have a phone. I had to go next door. It was a Chinese family that lived there. I knocked on the door. This is nighttime. I said, "Can I use your phone?" And they brought the phone out. They didn't want strangers coming in. We had landlines with wires at the time. I don't know if you know what that looks like, but the Chinese lady brought this black phone out with a long wire. And I phoned my mom. "What else are you going to do?" And I told her what I'd done. And I was scared. And she said, "You stupid, stupid bitch." And she hung up on me. But a few minutes later, an ambulance came and took me to St. Vincent's Hospital. And from there I went, got my stomach pumped. It was antibiotics. I took antibiotics. I guess Debbie didn't want them. I took antibiotics. And then I was sent to Shaughnessy Hospital. I had a big psychiatric place. And I spent 6 weeks there. And my mom came, talked to the doctors, let them know what a liar I was and how I caused trouble in the family, accusing the stepfather of things I should never, that I'm very evil, really. That's what she said. Like my father. She had my father, when he was 20, diagnosed as a psychopath. Yeah, her word. And he was a little petty criminal and a drunk, and he did get violent. He was out of his mind with rage with her. You know, you gotta live with one to know one. But he's the one that got diagnosed as a psychopath. And there I was in this psych ward, and she was talking to the shrinks. And I went running out once when she was talking. I had no voice. I just thought, oh shit, I can't talk. So I just ran. And I ran to the cafeteria. And when I got back, my mom was gone. And the psychiatrist tried to make me feel better. He did say I could tell she was double talking. But that's all he said. He didn't say he believed me. He just said, I can tell she is double talking. So, but he made arrangements with my stepmother, who lived in Cranbrook, 8 or 10 hours away, and my father. I could go live with them and have the baby, and they would welcome me and take care of me. My stepmother agreed, wanted to. And so did my dad. And my dad was there when my baby was born. They found me a job as a nanny. And yes, he did try. They all do. They're there for this. with me. He was a single father, 2 little girls. Where was his wife? I don't know. Out of the picture, because it's better that way. Easier for him to get other women when he has little girls. Women feel sorry for him. I sure did. But poor man has to be a single father. Oh, so he needs a nanny. Can't do it on his freaking own. And he has the money, the income. He's got the work. So he can afford a nanny. So I was a nanny while I was pregnant. And he tried, but I didn't want him. And I didn't want to hurt my baby. And I just wanted to look after his little girls and house. I was normal. Nobody else around me was. But then my dad, I phoned him when I was in labor. And he came over right away. And my stepmother was at work on the phone with me. And they were there. And I said, I have time, Dad, and I have to go to Kmart. I have to get an ID. I have nothing for a hospital. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I got time. So we drove to Kmart, and I decided to. I loved my dad so much. I loved him. I decided to tease my dad. And I, in the Kmart, would pretend I'm dropping the baby right now. His eyes would bulge out of his head. He said, I gotta get you to the hospital. We don't have time for this. I said, we have time, Dad. We have time. He's a little girl. Sure. And those were social workers that I met at Jeffrey Hale. I am still watched. I recognized her, and she knew I recognized her. Holy shit. The games people play. I am in Quebec and I can't speak French, but I've been targeted by an organization called Jeffrey Hale. It's for English people living in Quebec. They offer support, but they're really handlers. They go through everything. They snoop through your house. They pretend that they're there for you. They take things from you and make you think you're crazy. One of them took my xylophone Pong right in front of my eyes, out of my house. I didn't have my xylophone Pong. It wasn't there anymore. And I told him, you're taking things out of my house. You're crazy. And you're a liar. And now you're accusing social workers? Oh, you're trouble. It can't be everybody. It's gotta be you. Gotta be you. Since grade 2. It's been me since grade 2. How old are you in grade 2 the first time? 7? 6, 7? My birthday's in September, so I was just 7. And I was allowed to go to school. The age thing, I was early for school, actually, because my birthday was in September and I was 7. And that's when my stepfather came. And how it worked was he would be upstairs with my mother. I would be outside playing. And there's suddenly a brand new shiny toy in the grass, all by itself. Nobody around. No. What? It was brand new, guys. This Tonka truck. Oh, and my stepfather was a long haul truck driver. Long haul. In his last job, he drove the Alaska highways. Think about that as you listen to my story. You know about the Highway of Tears, the Alaska Highway. You don't know long haul truck drivers. You trust them. They're heroes. They bring food, and you love them. Anyway, a Tonka truck in the middle of the grass. And yes, I was tempted to walk over to it and play with it. Even though I knew it was wrong, it didn't belong to me. My mother said she hated liars and thieves. I was never, ever going to be a thief like my dad, my real dad. She told me he was a thief. And she will not tolerate this. So I'm playing with this toy that isn't mine. And all of a sudden, my first encounter came along. Didn't know him. Didn't ever see him before. And the first time, it was just talk. He took me down into some basement of the apartment complex. He took my hand, I went. You go obediently, you're a fucking child. And he's authority, and you better, 'cause you were playing with somebody's toy, and it was not yours. So you go with the man, and you hold his hand. And I'm not going to get into the details, but he asked me, right? He was asking me and offering me money. And I refused. I refused the $2 offer, and I refused the quarter offer for a quarter. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I said no, and I ran outside. He gave me the quarter anyway, even though I said no. But as I ran outside, I threw the quarter at the truck area. The truck was gone, but at the grass area, I threw the quarter and ran home. And I sat on my mom's bed as she was putting on her makeup, and I couldn't spit it out. What's a 7-year-old? What was that? I didn't know what that was. And she asked me at that moment to go to the mailbox because I was her personal slave. And so I had to take this big envelope down to the mailbox. I was scared shitless to go out. But I ran, and I was back in a minute, 1 minute. I sat back on her bed. She was still applying her lipstick. And I told her, I said, Mom, there's a guy out there. There's a guy out there. And he wanted this. And she said, what? Like she was shocked. And Dave was there, her new guy. He didn't move. He was sitting in the living room reading the newspaper. He wasn't outside. Well, he didn't do anything. But he knew where I was, the long haul truck driver with the Tonka truck. And he knew where to send people. So my mom called the police, actually, and they came and they did a thorough search around the apartment complex. They fucking couldn't find that guy anywhere. And there was Dave, reading the newspaper, innocent as could be. Didn't seem at all concerned, didn't even want to know what was going on, didn't talk to the police, didn't even move. Just sat behind that newspaper. All right, so that's the child one I will tell you about, the first. And no. There are drugs involved and there are memory blocks. And it's funny, with my dad's truck driving, he told my mom that he wanted me to go with him over to Vancouver Island to, what's that place called? Sydney. He had to take a load of food over to Overweighty. He worked for Overweighty at the time. It was food he was hauling, and he wanted to go to Sydney with his haul, and he wanted to take me. You see, he's so nice and kind to me. How dare I be so fucking ungrateful? But yeah, the thing is, guys, I have an older brother, 2 years older than me. Why couldn't he go on these trips? Why? Nobody ever said. And my brother never asked. And I don't remember anything. I just remember being on the ferries. I remember taking these trips. That's all I remember. And it never ended. My son was targeted by a complete animal, a homosexual animal from Germany. I was married to him for 20 fucking years, being handled, being manipulated, emotionally tortured. He was in my family like a white on rice, pretending to be human, pretending I am a crazy bitch like everybody says, pretending he is their friend and I am out of my mind and need a doctor. And they're all still together to this day, supporting each other, feeding off each other, and scapegoating me until I became invisible. And that's why I have Frank, who was financially supporting me at the end when I finally went homeless. He got my granddaughter good. He drugged me, took us to Mexico a couple times. No, he was drugging me. And so were the doctors. I was on antidepressants. And they stop feelings. And when your feelings stop, you can't feel the truth. Women need to feel. They're emotional beings. And men are physical. She will never be physical. He will never be emotional. He won't care. And if he doesn't care and doesn't have a woman to remind him of his conscience, he's going to die and find out. And she is going to die and find out the truth. That all of these step families are bullshit. All of them. They don't target every kid in the family. They target one. Used to be just girls. No, it's boys too. And mostly girls. I don't know what they are. They're sodomites or something. There's something out there, some other alien that does not like women. And they have created this Hollywood to groom minds for Satan, really. For Satan. You don't believe in Satan. You don't believe in hell. You don't believe in Jesus. You don't believe in nothing. You don't know what to believe anymore. Because women are liars and crazy. And children are stupid. They're just little empty toys you can play with and fuck with and control and make feel afraid and small. And once you do that to a child, make a child feel afraid and small, you've lost them forever. Thank you, therapist. I got it all out.